Hey, welcome. This is G, and this is all astrology, where we talk about the real deal, the everyday life stuff, the practical, tangible events, but actually beautiful things that occur in life and how we can find meaning in those things. We're going to pull in dates and times and explain events that are going to be occurring, things that are going to be coming up that are going to affect all of us, the world, society, individually. We're going to take a look at how these same energies look on a day-to-day practical way in our life. I do free readings. Miss A and I actually, today it's just me. So here at All Astrology, we do one free high-quality report, and if you just hold on tight and have a little bit of patience, I'm going to tell you how you can go about doing that. But I'm going to just go over very quickly the current energy. It is January 1st. Happy 2020. For all of us who have been waiting for change, waiting for the new year and said goodbye to 2019. Right now, the moon is in Pisces. So that's a beautiful feeling. Pisces is all about we are all one. So this New Year's in particular might have had a nice universal vibe to it, where people you were with, people you celebrated with, you might have felt just this beautiful camaraderie, a oneness of unity. The moon was at 10 degrees Pisces, so they had a nice trine set up, a sweet trine, meaning things that felt restricted all of a sudden because the moon was trining it was like those restrictions didn't appear to be there. They felt a sense of freedom that came with this. The moon moves really fast, so it was fleeting. They woke up today and they were like, oh shit, I gotta go to work tomorrow and blah, 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 blah. And what did I do last night? Holy crap. Some of the other current energies of right now, Saturn is moving closer to Pluto. And you might, if you are a sensitive person, you might have noticed feeling a little bit more restriction in your life in some way, depending upon where your cardinal energies are in your chart, specifically 21, 22, 23 degrees. Conjunction between Saturn and Pluto are starting to get tighter and tighter. And they're going to catch up in 9-10 days. Like by January 12th, we're going to feel it. We're going to see what the hell Saturn on top of Pluto holding hands or sitting in each other's lap, what that means. Remember, folks, Saturn slows things down. Saturn is restrictions. Saturn is authority. Saturn is me coming in and saying very seriously, hey, wait a minute, these are the rules. And we have to be responsible. We have to follow the rules. And Pluto combined with Saturn, Pluto is, oh, but look, the rules aren't being followed. And Pluto's all about power. And so if there's abuse of power in any way, shape, or form, it's holy shit, we have to change something. And we have to pull it out by the root to change it. It's not in a state where we can just simply do, a little baby renovation where we can, slap on some fresh paint. No. This is, we got to pull that shit out and completely rebuild from the ground up. That's Saturn and Pluto together. So wherever 22, 23 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart, that tells you the area of your life where you are under major reconstruction, because Pluto's been there for 13 years and will leave there in 2025. By the time you're done with that area of your life, you come out a whole different being, whether it be in the house of yourself or the house of your finances or the house of your thinking or your home or the house of romance or work, house of children, house of friendship. There's all these houses in a chart, which represents all the places in your life, significant one-on-one relationships, my beliefs, my spirituality, my teaching, my ongoing education. So once you look that up in your chart, you can find out what area of your life is under renovation. Cardinal squares cardinal. So at 22, 23 degrees, you want to look in your chart. Look if you have either in Aries or in Libra. At those degrees, and you will know, holy crap, that's why this has been so difficult. And in those areas, wherever those signs are at, it is those houses that are receiving the stress. And it just helps, because then you could be like, okay, I'm not crazy. This shit is hard. That tightening up of Saturn and Pluto starts to feel more real. And it's like reality check time. Like, okay, this went on like this for so long, and now we got to take care of business. Very meticulous, slow. There's no rushing anything with Saturn and Capricorn, and should be highly ethical, okay, when it's done right, when it's done the slow fashion, the slow way, which is we're not going to take shortcuts. There's no cheating involved. There's a square. I keep saying square because we have Eris at 23 degrees in Aries. All do, all right? So if you have your chart, you know right off the bat, Eris is at 23 degrees in Aries, and this will be for everybody, but some people, like this individual's chart I'm looking at, they have a 19-degree Eris, which means when Saturn was squaring that not too long ago, actually very recently, which I'm going to get into in a minute for this person, they have been experiencing some intense ego energies and some great self-assertion by way of their career and wanting to climb to the top. For people who are Aquarius ascendants, Aquarius risings, this will pertain to you. Having Eris is this divine feminine energy, and it is about self. It is about my right to exist, my right to be here, my feminine qualities, traits, and characteristics. And so find out where that is in your life. If you're an Aquarius ascendant, Aquarius rising, This would be in your third house of thinking. And so your idea of how to communicate, your idea and your ways of thinking can tend to be a bit impulsive. So having a square to that means you are learning, okay, you can't just have this thought and take action. You have to first think things through. This thinking things through is a running theme in this particular chart. So for Aquarius Ascendant, Aquarius Risings, pay attention, because that means you have Scorpio up there at your midheaven. If you have Scorpio up there at your midheaven, Mars has been transiting through Scorpio this last month. Right now, Mars is at a critical 29-degree mark. A 29 degree in any sign is typically a critical degree, only because the energy starts to become intense. It also starts to mesh with the next sign. And so there's usually a test of some sort. Whether you realize it or see it or perceive it as a test, there is some sort of reminder of, okay, I'm about to leave. Did we get this shit taken care of? Make sense? So Scorpio is behind the scenes. Scorpio is hidden. Scorpio's below the surface. Scorpio is deep. All right, Scorpio's ruler is Pluto. It's about power. It's about intense. When we talk about power and Pluto and intense and it being at someone's midheaven, people at the midheaven are the ones that are usually in charge, the managers. It's big business. It typically signifies possibly an abuse of power. Keep this in mind because this is a big theme for 2020. Well, it's kind of actually already been a big theme in 2019 and in the previous years, but our awareness about the abuse of power in many long-standing structured systems in our culture and in our society, we are becoming more aware of the abuses that have been occurring, even more so than before. And abuses pertaining to things that we kind of only reserved for these like weird magazine tabloid, like the Inquirer headlines, where we're realizing, oh my gosh, that stuff wasn't that far from the truth actually, because Pluto really is truth. That is Pluto. Pluto takes a long time. It works deep and slowly, because it goes and works at the root level, the stuff that cannot be seen. So typically, we do not see the truth immediately. It takes many years before we can see the truth. And even when the truth starts to rise to the top, that's Pluto, when the truth starts to rise to the top, we don't accept it because it's so wild and so far out there and so like inconceivable, we can't wrap our head around it. So it takes a lot of time. Pluto, Saturn, takes a lot of time for us to really be able to be like, holy shit, that's really what was going on? And it's almost so atrocious. We don't want to believe it. It is so nasty. It is so, the abuse is rampant. It's not just in one area, it's in multiple areas, and we just can't believe the abuse has been so widespread for so long and nobody knew or people knew and no one did anything about it. So it's shocking times. 2020 promises all that and more for us. All right, so let's get up to speed. Let's go to January 1st. I kind of already started to talk about January 1st and we got kitty cat time. Hello, Zoe. Oh, shit. All right, baby, just relax. I want you to be in a safe spot, okay? Come on and sit down. So we have this running energy. Pluto's a huge theme. It's this transformational deep change. Now, I'm going to give out the birth time. Remember, these are Aquarius Ascendant, Aquarius Rising readings, but this particular person, this free reading is for people who, well, specifically this birth chart is August 6th, 1984, and we have 6:55 p.m. This is in India. I am really bad at pronouncing foreign languages and stuff, so Faridabad, Faridabad. All right. I'm sorry for chopping that up, but you know who you are. You submitted your info and you are coming off of a very powerful time. You just got a bonus of some sort. The energy is showing me you had a Jupiter return in your 11th house in Capricorn at work. So there was a benefit that came through from your group activity, from working in a group in some way, shape, or form. And it is related to work though, because it's in Capricorn and it was Jupiter returning. The eclipse happened right on your Jupiter, change coming, and you felt it. You already knew about it in advance before, of course. I said it before the eclipse came. When an eclipse is exact, chances are you felt it months in advance. There was already talk about it, so a change in work possibly, but it's beneficial, likely a promotion, maybe in a different department, maybe a change you wanted. Usually this particular past eclipse is dependent upon the good coming through, something beneficial coming through when we let go of something old, something that is no longer of use to us. We say, hey, you know what, been there, done that. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. But this was a total benefit for you. It was something that you were, what the energy is showing there was a surprise here because Uranus was involved. It was a direct, like I would say, a direct hit, contact. And it was like Mercury was involved, the sun was involved, Jupiter was involved, your Jupiter was involved, which, by the way, this means magic, mystical, magical, mythical, manifesting energy. Jupiter and Mercury, when you have a mega stellium in any sign. They're all, I should say, all in one sign, and they are all in Capricorn. So right now, the energy between the eclipse of the 26th of December 2019 to the following eclipse, which is only like 2 weeks away, actually now it's less than 2 weeks away, it is January 10th, and it will be at 20 degrees Cancer. Find 20 degrees Cancer in your chart. I'm just checking out Zoe here. Find 20 degrees Cancer in your chart to understand better where this is happening in your life. Now, eclipse isn't just about the 20 degrees Cancer in your chart. It also has to do with what's opposing it, what's at the opposite end of it. 20 degrees Cancer is here. You know what's at the opposite end of that, right? 20 degrees Cancer, it's the same line. Cancer and Capricorn run along the same line of energy. So what's at the opposite end? Saturn and Pluto at 22 degrees, right? And so we have a 20, because this person's chart, they have nothing in Cancer at 20 degrees. The 20 degrees eclipse in Cancer, the exact opposing energy is Saturn and Pluto. Now, this happens in this person's 12th house. The 12th house is the unseen. The 12th house is considered our karma, our past, okay? Usually it's however we lived in our past life. Karma doesn't mean bad things. It just means whatever the choices that we made in the past, they come back around. Remember when I tell people energy is a boomerang? This is it. This is when the boomerang comes back around to you. So dependent upon what you've done in the past, dependent upon the choices you've made and how you've treated people, that boomerang's coming back around to you, baby, okay? It can be beneficial. It can totally be beneficial. What I want to talk to you about specifically, this person, all right, is that you have Mars on your midheaven right now. You just got off of a Mars return. What this means is you had this drive, this assertion, this aggression. You had this power to work extremely hard. Whatever your professional goals were, you were going to just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. No rungs left on the damn ladder, but you were shimmying your ass up. It didn't matter that there were no rungs on your ladder. You were going up that ladder regardless. There's a caution, a big caution sign, okay? Because Mars returning to Mars gives you this ability to just trample over people, okay? It's at the midheaven. Yes, another I have the ability to just trample over people. There is this thing about ego when we talk about the planet Mars. It's all about, I got to do this because I will shine. This is my desire. This is my goal. And the spotlight will be on me. People, I will be recognized and acknowledged for what I did. Here's the thing. Your Mars is in Scorpio. So it is a very good possibility. The energy gives you a strong inclination to do stuff backdoor wise, like behind the scenes, almost subversive, almost as though you want to be tricky and sneaky about it instead of being out front and in the open. The tricky thing about this for you, my friend, is that the best way to handle this energy, if you have to work in groups, in partnerships, okay, with other people at the job, it is hard because there is a part of your ego that is so strong and so driven that you will feel like, okay, I have to take care of this. I have to spearhead this project. I'm the one who knows what they're doing. I'm the one who's got the engine. I am the engine, pushing the train or pulling the train. I'm the caboose here, right? The thing is that typically when we have this much power, our idea of what our reward and recognition are going to be never pan out to the degree of our desire, to the degree of what we expect it to be. And then there's this huge period afterwards of disappointment and anger and almost resentment at times. And if you've done stuff behind the scenes, trying to push your agenda forward in a way, should I say, you're going to come up against opposition, fierce opposition. So you don't want to take that route. And I wish I could have gotten to your chart sooner. You also had some beautiful stuff happening. You had the eclipse coming, and you had Uranus and Jupiter return. So you got a perk, you got a bonus at the job. You may even got a promotion. But I want you to beware about this ego thing, okay? It's really strong, and it's going to become more of a factor in the coming month. Like this month in January, it's going to come about even more. January 10th, write the date down. It's actually a whole week because you have a lot of planets, but I want you really seriously to write down these 7 days of January, starting on January, we'll give you January 9th to January 16th. Your Mars is specifically sitting on your south node. Your natal south. Your natal south node is what you are supposed to be releasing in this lifetime. It is something you are really good at. Your south node is all about you believing that you are the teacher. When you're in the job and in the professional workplace, you're the one who's there to teach everybody else. It is your job. You're really good at this. This is something you were born knowing how to do. Now, the problem is that at this time, your ego is going to 100% and totally completely over-identify with this and completely over-identify with this is who I am. And I'm just, I want to explain to you that what your soul came to do is the exact polar opposite. This is your south node. This is that stuff up there in Sagittarius in your 10th house. These Sagittarians, the thing with the south node in Sagittarius is I know a lot. I have the knowledge of the universe at my fingertips, and this is who I am, okay? And I expect that because I believe it, you should believe it. It's time to release that. That's what you came to do. You came to let go of that thought. You came to the realization your north node is down here in Gemini, which is what you came to do in this lifetime. This is all about, I am an independent individual human being. I know how to talk and how to express and communicate about that which I think. I can also talk and communicate about that which the way that I think. I also understand that what I believe doesn't define me. It defines me maybe for the moment while I'm talking about it, but I'm flexible, I am mutable, I am changeable, I am always evolving and growing, and therefore, so is everyone around me. So is everybody else in my life. Now, this would probably be for you the most, because where you have to do it at actually is in home. This is where you have to actually let that show, is in your home. But when it comes to the workplace, you've got to let that stuff go, because your ego is just completely 100% identifying with it. Now, I have a feeling, no, it's not about a feeling. I always say that, but I'm reading the energy and I'm getting information in. And there is an over-identification coming, or it's already occurred, and it's being reinforced again because Mars is touching on your south node. So it feels so powerful that you think it's right. My friend, understand it's your ego. Let it go. It's a trap. It's a setup. That's what I'm trying to warn you. This is a setup, because that Mars is then not much later. These days I gave you, Mars is then going to move and it's going to sit right on top of Uranus. Uranus is shocks and surprises from people in authority. This is in your 10th house, okay? This is at your work, all right? I want you to be careful. You're over-identifying and you're going to feel it. You're going to get some crap back from this, and it's not going to go well, all right? You're going to feel like it's a personal attack on you, and you're going to be like, what the hell? I was just doing my job, right? It's because you identified with the belief that you represent the belief. So you're going to feel like this is a personal attack on you, literally, and it's not. After that, not long after that, that same Mars, and now realize your south node's involved in this, and all of this, it's all conjunct, all right? And the moon's going to be involved, your natal moon. Your natal moon is your emotions. So your emotions are connected to this as well. This is also connected to your past. That's why this is going to be hard to let go. But I'm telling you, it's what you came to do, because at the opposing side in the home, okay, you've got your Chiron, you've got your north node, which is what your soul came to do. You have all these other things down here that are supporting the battle up here in the job, all right? Let go of being the one who has to tell everybody what to do. Just to accept that you are very wise, you are knowledgeable, and you realize that everyone has to come upon wisdom and knowledge in their own way and in their own time. Now, let me move on. Also, remember what I said about the eclipse that's coming. It's January 12th and 13th. That's why this is so potent. There's this big eclipse also. Again, this happens in the workplace. So what I was trying to explain to you about getting resistance from people in authority and it being a surprise, there's probably likely going to be someone out of the blue, someone that you really weren't aware of. Like I said, it's this karmic thing, somebody from your past, and it's likely not recent past, probably someone you don't even know. It's going to feel like being blindsided, like someone just came from out of nowhere and said something. So you may physically actually see them, or you may never see them. It may be, hey, so-and-so told me this, and therefore we have to do this. Maybe someone you never even meet. The point is, there's energy you're dealing with that's coming up from the past. And, well, I just want you to be prepared for it and to just accept. That is your best route right now, to just accept. Now, let's move on to February 29th. There is a energy that is surfacing up, and it is Saturn. Saturn restricts things. Actually, it's Saturn and Pluto, okay? You have a 29-degree Pluto in Libra, all right? That means you need to in your life, it is important that you have relationships that are transformational, but relationships that are based on things being fair. Law, order, duty is very prominent. I was wondering if you have a job that has to do with the law in some way, or the military in some way, or enforcing law, whether it's being in law work of some sort, whether that's a lawyer or police enforcer, like an actual officer of the law, because you have Mars on the midheaven, which is very physical, very taking action, not necessarily a behind the scenes, writing bills and, creating laws or trying to pass laws or in a courtroom talking law, but you have this very deep sense of things being fair and just and transformational. And this is in your one-on-one relationships, okay? You're going to be experiencing, come February 29th, a Saturn squaring that Pluto, okay? And that's pretty much a big deal because it's Saturn, and Saturn is a big boy, and so is Pluto. And so Saturn restricts things. It's going to restrict things being transformational and fair and balanced, all right? And you're going to feel that. And this is going to has so much to do with your beliefs. Going back to your beliefs again, it's all about your belief systems and about actually, it's probably pertaining to things you might not be aware of. It's subconscious beliefs. So what Saturn will do is it will bring some of these things to the surface for you. And again, it's coming from a hidden place. It's coming from the 12th house. So again, it's that boomerang. It's that karmic energy coming around to share with you what you shared in your past. And it's to help you. It's to help the truth rise to the surface. All right? So that's February 29th. Like I said, that's going to be your belief systems. It's going to be your beliefs in your significant one-on-one relationships, your deeply bonded relationships. This is important, all right? This could be partnerships, business partnerships, anybody who is a very, very close friend that you commit to on some level. There's a resurfacing of that energy that comes up, actually, it's like for 6 months you're going to be feeling this kind of energy. I'm going to move up now to you really quickly to June 5th. The month of June, we have 2 eclipses, okay? 5th. I know there's other energies that happen in between, but I really wanted to talk about things that I felt were the most potent so that you could prepare for those and not be blindsided. And there are tons of supportive energies that you have going on in your chart. So I don't mean for these readings to be downers in any way, shape, or form. It's more or less just to tell you when the rain is coming and to be prepared to put on your coat and maybe bring an umbrella or not go out at all that day. Which, by the way, all that stuff I talked about in January 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, there might be surprises doing with foreigners because it's Jupiter, it's Sagittarius. So it's foreigners, it's long distance journeys, right? Traveling far, far away, communications from people from foreign countries. That would be part of that too. Okay, that would be part of that shocking Mars, combative, need to break free, feeling a sense of somebody who is an authority coming down on me. So all of that is part of that, and that might help you to get a closer indicator, to be more specific and to find out who the heck that might be or where it's coming from, and maybe kind of head it off. Try to do some preventive maintenance. What the chart is showing me, though, is that a lot of it is stemming from you. A lot of it is because it's going right back to your ascendant, which means it has everything to do with what you have put out there. You have the ability to be a shocking communicator at times. You're intelligent, but there are times when the way in which you communicate at work are shocking. And whether you're aware of that or not, you are now, because I'm confirming it for you, and other people might have said things. And if they have, here's me, who's never met you, telling you this is what your chart shows, and this is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm seeing. It goes right back to shocking communications because you're an interesting, unique individual, which is a good thing. But sometimes things coming out verbally can be too much in a professional workspace, okay? I want you to keep in mind about your health, too. I didn't even mention that, but keep your health in check during this time. There might be some afflictions to your health, nothing major, but just be aware that self-maintenance and self-care is going to be important at this time. Let's go back, like I said, or let's get to the future here. We're talking June 5th. There's our first eclipse. It's in Sagittarius at 15 degrees. This is important. This is exactly on your natal moon, which means your emotional world, your inner emotional security. There's a lot of past life energy with this. Again, this feels very karmic. And you know what? The best thing to do when this happens is to accept responsibility. It's really hard because it's like, wait a minute. You're telling me I got to deal with stuff that came from another life? Just accept that there are things that are occurring and there are energies that are happening that are bigger and more powerful than you. That is like you trying to fight a wave that's coming and trying to punch at it, right? That's ridiculous. The best thing is to get yourself out of harm's way, okay? And to just accept. Don't deny, don't fight. Just listen and hear people out and be willing to compromise. Be willing to compromise. That's going to be important. I want you to take care of yourself around the first eclipse, okay? Because it's right on your moon, you're likely going to feel this before this date of June 5th. You will likely feel this before then, okay? This is at work. Again, this is a big thing with work. Do you travel for work? Are you on the road a lot for work, or do you work remotely, or are you telecommuting where you're just, you're online and you're constantly dealing with people from other countries around the world? Very much see that because it's Uranus there, and Uranus is about technology and the internet, and it's in Sagittarius. So that is something you would be doing, most definitely. If you aren't, you might want to try to do that, but maybe there will be changes coming about that can make that happen for you, and maybe that was what the promotion was all about, or the change at the job. Maybe that will be part of a new thing you will be doing, because that kind of stuff feeds your sun. You're a very confident individual. All right, your sun and your moon, they trine each other. They're very well aspected to each other. I mean, really well. You are very confident. You're confident in your beliefs. You're emotionally stable and optimistic, very optimistic individual, which people like optimistic leaders, by the way. And you have the ability to be that person. Your ability to research and your investigative skills are just endless. I mean, endless. Like you could outdig and outdo anybody when it comes to a lot of these things. So you have many, many, many strengths. So these changes that are coming, I want you to embrace them. And I want you to get your ass up on that board and ride this damn wave. All right? You have the ability to do it. I see this. So I want you to do that. You can ride the wave. Don't fight it, ride it. June 21st. Moving to the next eclipse, June 21st, and that's probably where I'm going to end this because I've been talking way too long. Keep in mind, anytime you want to... Oh, by the way, I don't know if I told people how to get a free reading. Here at Allastrology, you can comment your birth digits down below. We give out one free high-quality subscriber reading. It is completely legit. You're witnessing one right now. It is not computer-generated shit. It takes the intellect, the wisdom of the universe coming through, intuition, the many, many years of astrological knowledge, all weaved into this picture of you. So for June 21st, 2020, there is an eclipse, 0 degrees Cancer, okay? June 21st, 0 degrees Cancer. Folks, 0 degrees Cancer. This is going, for you, for this person in your birth chart, this is going to be opposing that Jupiter that you benefited from back in December, at the end of December of 2019. Well, in June of 2020, the eclipse is going to oppose your Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is typically beneficial, okay? And you don't have any planets at 0 degrees Cancer. All right, but this is happening in your 5th house. So that signifies a change. It signifies something new is coming. This is 5th house is romance, children, joy, creativity. All right, so this is good. This could be something new happening on the relationship front, which, by the way, relationships are so important to you. Your sun is in that house of relationships, and you thrive in being in a relationship. That's when you shine, when you're in a relationship. You have a lot of really wonderful energies that support your ability to be in lasting relationships. I hope this helped, and if you want to do any further work, just comment below and we'll take care of you. Bye.